My name is Dan Rowe. I work for the Minnesota Department of Transportation. I'm in the Connected Automated Vehicle Office. I used to be ITS office, but about 3 years ago, they combined, so now we're known as the CAV office. And the project I'm going to discuss is called the MnDOT CAV Traveler Alert System. I came into this project about a year and a half ago. It's been going on for a little over 2 years, I believe. So this project's all about safety, trying to warn people when we have a vehicle ahead of them on the road. Snow plows, guardrail, that kind of thing. Guardrail repair, whoever's out there, we're trying to warn the people as they come up behind them. About 10 years ago, we had a similar project. Iteris is involved in this project, and 10 years ago, they were involved in an earlier version of this project. It was called Wizard. And that went from the Twin Cities metro area to St. Cloud, which is west about 60 miles. And I think it was only on one side of the road. But there we had 14 signs on that project, and it was kind of snowplow ahead, maintenance vehicle, that kind of thing, based on geofence. So this project now is more or less an updated version with more features. Like I mentioned, we're going to warn motorists with a DMS. I know technically, I think it's a CMS. I always use a DMS terminology, but it's 18 by, well, they all vary, but a lot of them are 18 by 6 foot color. So I'll use DMS. And as far as the former Wizard project, I don't know. As a project manager, you kind of just get handed another project and you move on. But that one lasted for a few years, and now we're on the second version. Next slide, please. Adam, can you go to the next slide, please? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the second slide. I'm looking at a different screen. I got too many monitors over here. Okay, that is the next slide. Yes. Actually, can you back up? Back up to the second slide, please. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's a nice canned picture that MnDOT always uses. So we put that on this presentation. But this project is known as a CAV Challenge Project. And anybody can propose a project as long as it meets the listed goals you'll see with the dark bullets there. The bigger bullets, I don't know if they have to meet them all or some of them, but that is something our office came up with. I'm not part of that review process, but I believe Iteris, I'm almost positive, Iteris proposed this project and it got accepted by those above, and then it got handed down to manage the project. Iteris has been good to work with. Next slide, please. By the way, my slide, I only got like 6 slides, so I'm going to go pretty fast here. But this is, to make sure you have the problem. Well, the problem is pretty obvious. There's so many accidents out there. People are hitting their plows. The safety of the maintenance and snowplow vehicle operators and the traffic public. And in 2018, we had 84 crashes involving snowplows in our state. 2020, we had 72 crashes involving vehicles that hit our snowplows. People get hurt, equipment gets damaged. It's just not a good situation. And that's, we're just referring to wintertime here, and that's a lot more likely for our vehicles to be hit in the winter than it is in the summer. And the contributing factors, I'm sure you all can guess, it's people going into our work zones, because we've got a lot of work zones because we can't work all year round. So whenever the weather permits, we're working out there. Driver distraction, poor driving conditions, snow, ice, that kind of thing. So it's a problem. It is a problem. We're trying to help with this problem by warning people, hey, somebody's ahead of you. And a lot of times you're driving on that road and you see that big white cloud and you don't know what it is. Well, if you're coming up too fast, you're going to run into a plow. So we're trying to solve that with this project. If you could go to the next slide, please, Adam. All right. I don't think this picture's from Minnesota. It just reminds me of the mountains, but I'm using it anyway. So as I mentioned, the objective is to improve the safety, public and employees, MnDOT employees. And we're going to alert the travelers based on a sign. We had the app portion of this project, which I'll get into in a minute. If you could go to the next one, please, Adam. Okay. I'm going to pause for a few seconds here and let you kind of look at that just for a few seconds here. That drawing. you know, this, the AWS, I'm sure Amazon Web Service. IRIS stands for Intelligent Roadway Information System. IRIS is an advanced traffic management system. I believe MnDOT created this software. Pretty sure about that. And other states use it, I know. But it's used to control field devices, signs, ramp meters, etc., and collect traffic data information. You'll notice that on the left side of this drawing, it deals with signs, and on the right side, it deals with app. We were trying to do an Apple app and an Android app, and those apps were created by Iteris, and we're so close to implementing those. It was decided very recently that we're just going to not do the portion of the app. We had it tested, but there's a lot of questions going around in MnDOT about, is it safe? Is it this? Is it that? So they wanted to do maybe a pooled fund study of some sort. So we're no longer doing the app, but we did have, I think it was like 15 MnDOT supervisors who did try the app and the signs. And the app had a few hiccups, but we never did get the Google people to accept the Android app. We were close, but the language, they kept wanting to change language when they sent it to their Play Store, PlayStation. I can't remember what the term is. But the sign portion worked well. The way it works, I'm trying to look at my notes here. We're monitoring locations of work vehicles with geofencing, Iteris is, and it sends an alert to the AWS, and that then sends a message to IRIS when the geofence matches the work vehicle location, and of course, also in relation to the DMS. So there's got to be a sign there. It's got to be all the timing built up. You got a geofence area. It's going near a sign. The traveler behind, when that truck is within that geofence, it's going to send that message. We have 138 of these signs broadcasting, and it's mostly freeway. Most of our signs are on the freeway, and they just decided that would be best to do it on the freeway, but it's not in the metro area due to too much activity already going on in that location. So it's pretty much outside the metro area in Minnesota. I don't know if you're familiar. We got some big cities, but the Twin Cities is what we can consider the metro area. So it's places but the metro. And also AVL. The MnDOT trucks, most, if not all the MnDOT trucks have AVL, but they don't always have it on. And if they don't have it on, this system is not going to work. Why they have it off, I'm not sure all the details on that, but once they have the AVL on, they're going through the geofence by a sign. That sign should light up whether it's winter or summer. The message will say snowplow ahead or maintenance vehicle ahead. I believe it says use caution. The maintenance supervisors who test the system thought it works good. I mean, it tells you there's somebody up there, so be careful. And that's the intent, trying to keep things safe. In the Apple portion, the maintenance people tried the Apple portion of the app, and it worked, but there were some hiccups with it, like every research type project. If the maintenance yard for certain maintenance shops had trucks happen to have the AVL on and they were parked in the parking lot, it would pick up that information. So it got confusing, but Iteris was looking into it and fixing those issues. But it was just this week when they said, all right, let's just hold off in the app. In that part there, to send the DMS request to IRIS, Iteris is definitely needed for that. We are not able to do that. They know the geofence areas. They're the ones who are working on that. So in the future, if we continue with this, we're going to need somebody to take up that role to help us get it to IRIS and then send the message out. And we were planning on doing pilot testing. We're going to open up to more MnDOT people and some people in the trucking industry and things like that and try it. But because the app, there were some delays, now we're kind of laying off the app. We're not doing that. And we were going to also release this to the public, but we have a communications office and they got to make sure, it's their job to make sure this app is safe And a lot of questions came up towards the end here. So it was just decided, let's just continue with the contract with the signs for now. And maybe a pooled fund study or something like that in the future to look into the app. But right now, no app. The project is well received so far from the people who've tried it. They like the project. And we're just going to continue with it. I think our contract goes until the fall, and we'll have to make some decisions before then if we want to continue using these signs. But next slide, please, Adam. I think that might be all I have. Yeah. There's my contact information if you want to talk to me about this project. I'd be happy to answer any questions I can. And with that, thank you for your time.